did high drama like all the plays we saw. Well, let's start with Laura Winter's rom-com All of Me. Lucy and Alfonso meet cute outside a hospital where they both use mobility aids and use AAC or alternative augmented communications to speak. Their specific program is TTS or text-to-speech technology and digital voices. Lucy flirts outrageously with Alfonso and gets him to go on a date with her. This doesn't sit too well with Lucy's controlling mom, who has to work 2 jobs with back pains. She goes to meet Alfonso and his mom, Elena, to make sure everything is above board. The mom is very rich and snobby, and the 2 moms do not get on. Will this cause problems for the budding romance? Meanwhile, Lucy's sister has her own problems as she prepares to marry Moose, her longtime and very sweet boyfriend. Surprisingly, Mark and I agree, as you know how much I love sappy soap opera stories with plenty of conflicts to make the road to romance fraught. Once again, there is a rich versus poor angle. It's interesting that in the beginning, Lucy just oozes self-confidence in her flirting with Alfonso, but later on you see her vulnerabilities that get in the way of their happiness. It also shows the frustrations of trying to be independent where there's so many obstacles to prevent that for Lucy, as well as the rest of the family and even Moose. Brent Barnackis and Edward T. Morris' set showed the contrast between the 2 families. The cast was superb, and I cared deeply about all of them, even the judgmental Elena. Happy face. And I got a chance to interview Florencia Lozano, who plays Elena at the Lucille Hotel Awards, and she was in 3 plays this season.
I'm in a play now at the New Group, and
what's it called?
It's called All of Me.
What's it about?
It's about it's a rom-com with 2 disabled people in wheelchairs at the center. It's hilarious, and it showcases people that we usually don't really take in. It's a very special play by Laura Winters, directed by Ashley Monroe, starring Madison Ferris and Danny Gomez. And Kira Sedgwick is in it too. Welcome, yeah. No, yeah.
Okay.
And Lily Mae Harrison and Brian Morabito.
Well, congratulations on all these parts you have.
Oh.
Mary Jane, written by Amy Herzog, is back with Rachel McAdams, who plays a single mother trying to deal with the serious health condition of her child, Alex. And I got a chance to talk to Lily Santiago, who plays the musical therapist in the play at the Lortel Awards. And I'm going to show you that interview. And then next show, we will actually review Mary Jane.
Hello, here we are with
Lily Santiago.
And your dad is
Ruben Santiago Hudson getting a Lifetime Achievement Award tonight.
And he's a homie because I grew up near Lackawanna.
No way.
Yes way. So I know where he's from.
Oh, you know.
I know.
You know.
When we went by it, we would hold our nose because it smelled so bad because of factories.
I love Lackawanna.
Well, the skill factories are gone, so now it's...
Yes. But it's still, it's still a tiny little place that...
You are very much in demand in Mary Jane. They want that music therapist, and they are fighting for that music therapist. And when they get a hold of you, they just clip you like they're a lifesaver.
Yeah, it's so much fun playing that role. And to give the gift of music, we talked a lot about how the voice is such a vulnerable thing to share. And so when I do get to sing in Mary Jane, it's just I feel the audience breathe with me, It's beautiful.
And did you learn how to play? It was a ukulele and a guitar, wasn't it?
It was just a ukulele. Yeah.
I thought it was a ukulele. She said guitar, and I thought, no, it was a ukulele.
No, you were right.
Okay. So did you have to learn how to play a ukulele for the role?
I taught myself how to play ukulele when I was quarantined in Australia for my last TV job. I was so bored because we couldn't go outside. And so I was stuck in the apartment. I ordered a ukulele. And I just taught myself. And then I ended up using it in an audition for Broadway. And it worked. So
divine intervention.
Yes, exactly.
Well, congratulations and continue long run.
Thank you so much. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
The Opposite of Love, written by Ashley Griffin, directed by Rachel Klein, involves a 30-something virgin, Eloise, who is traumatized by her uncles molesting her as a child. She seeks a male prostitute to help her overcome her inhibitions regarding intimacy. She's a rich only child who throws her money at the poor gigolo. She's lucky that the hired man, Will, is gentle, patient, and very sympathetic. They meet every Friday. She whines and fetches a lot, and Will tries to accustom her to gentle touching. Over the course of their meetings, they reveal elements of their personal histories and seem to become genuinely fond of each other. It seems ridiculous that she has no sexual desires in her body, and Will's pleading poverty doesn't make much sense when he seems to earn a great deal of cash off the books. This wretched play is made tolerable by Danny Gardner, who is convincingly sexy and moves with the dancer's grace and sensitivity. Late in the play, there's a ridiculous turn of direction that is truly unbearable. I would think that a rich, inhibited woman would seek professional counseling rather than a prostitute. But who expects this play to be realistic or logical? I hope to see Danny Gardner in something more worthy of his talent. Unhappy face.
Here we are with Jamie Brickhouse, who has a show called Pearl Necklace, a gay sexcapade. I hope I got that right. It's for
You got it right, Eva.
It's for the Queerly Festival, right?
That's right. For the Queerly Festival that Frigid New York puts on every year.
So tell us all about the play and the festival and your life. And
it tells a story about what it's like to be to have been and to be a gay Gen X man like me. I'm 56. I was born in 1968. And the Queerly Festival, they have it during Gay Pride Month, which is great. And I did my other two shows there, Dangerous and Wet, a memoir of booze, sex, and my mother, and I Favor My Daddy, A Tale of Two Sissies.
And I know we've reviewed you in the past very, very favorably. You're one of our people like, oh, he's doing a show. Somebody will go see it because we like you.
I love hearing that. And I love, as I said, I'm a storyteller. And then when the pandemic happened and there was no live theater, and all the storytelling stages and solo performance stages were dried up, I started telling true stories in high heels on TikTok and doing videos on that. And it's kind of taken off, and I've got nearly 100,000 viewers, and great to get all this feedback from all these viewers and people that I don't know as opposed to my friends. And they're really can relate to an honest story well told and told with humor. And many of my TikTok people get to see the show because it's also going to be live streaming. So even if you're not in New York City, you can live stream it. And there is an option when you buy tickets to live stream it.
Oh, that's great. And I should ask, what is the significance of a pearl necklace?
Well, there's the body significance of a pearl necklace, when during sex, when he climaxed on your neck, that kind of thing. And then also when my husband, when he and I decide to get married, we decided to do it on our 30th anniversary, the anniversary of the day we met. And you give pearls traditionally on the 30th anniversary. So that's also the significance of pearl necklace. When Michael, Micah Hayes, as I call him, because that's the way he says his name with his Tennessee accent, Micah Hayes, he, when we met in Central Park in the Ramble, a famous area for, it's a famous gay trysting area. And I said that we went in there merely looking for a pearl necklace from someone, but then, which we got with each other, but we emerged with something better, a pearl of love. And that meeting lasted 30 plus years. We're still together.
Oh, I love happy ending. Although yours is not ending yet. That's what.
No, it's not. It's not at all. But for sure, it's also about, we're like a lot of gay men. Our relationship is open, and so the show is also about that, and about it's a sex positive show.
Does AIDS still figure in stories or not? Has AIDS finally been tamed, really?
Well, these days I don't talk so much about it, although there is a story there. I do have a story in there about it. I'm HIV positive, and I have been since 2002. And I've told this. I talk about this in some of my other shows, but not so much in this show. I mean, I do talk about I'm open that I'm HIV positive, which is that I was in the closet about it for many years because of the shame that was around being HIV positive, because of who got it and how you got it. And then when I finally came out about it, 10 years after being diagnosed, it was when I was writing my book, Dangerous and Wet. And my father was still alive. My mother wasn't. I'd never told my parents. And I thought, I should keep this in the book. It needs to be in the book. It needs to be a story in the book. It's important to the story I'm telling. And so I told my father. And I was so, nervous about telling him. And my father, who was wonderful, even though he was a Catholic conservative, but he was always supportive and loved me. And but I just feared that, how he would react. And I also didn't want him to worry. But also by the time I was diagnosed in 2002, AIDS was no longer a death sentence, and it wasn't. And the drab cocktail had come along. So for me, it's always been living with a manageable condition. And when I told him, he just wanted to know if I was okay. And when I explained that to him, that it was a manageable condition, and he said, "Yeah, I'd heard that," and that was it, and he was fine with that. So, but these days, and it's not so much in my show, but it's pretty much in the gay community, we know it's a manageable condition. Also, if you're HIV positive and you are non-detectable, your viral load is non-detectable, and you're on medication, you can't transmit it to somebody else. And then there's another thing that came along a few years ago called Truvada, or PrEP, so that for people who aren't HIV positive, they can take that to prevent them from being infected. So it's pretty much these days, it's not the threat or the scary thing that it once was.
But, I find it's interesting while you're talking. I never thought of this before, but in the past, you stayed in the closet. You were afraid to come out as gay because you didn't know how people would react.
Right.
Nowadays, it's like, oh, it's no big deal. So you're gay. It's fine. Live and let live. But now you're in the closet about whether to reveal whether you're HIV positive or not.
But that's changed, yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, things are improving, it seems like, which is nice.
I would, on the pickup apps, on the like Grindr and Scruff, where a lot of men, pick up and meet guys to get together, and there used to be HIV shame on there. Either you would reveal it, or people would put on their profile that they are only seeking other clean men, clean being an ugly name for those who are not HIV positive. And I had guys, block me on the apps, or drop me once they found out I was HIV positive. But now that's gone away. No one cares anymore. No one, because everyone, or most people know that if you're undetectable, you can't transmit it. And then there's this drug PrEP that a lot of people are on. So they don't have that worry anymore.
If people want to see you on TikTok or your website and all those other platforms, I mean, where can people go? If they can't come, if they live stream your show and they're so excited they want to know more about you and see you more, they're like, this isn't enough. I'm more of Jamie Brickhouse.
Well, every day I tell a true story in high heels on TikTok, and Instagram and Facebook. And on TikTok, you can find me at Jamie, JAMIE _ Brickhouse. And on Instagram and Facebook, it's at Jamie Brickhouse. And then you can also go to my website, which is jamiebrickhouse.com.
Looking forward to this. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Eva. This has been so much fun, and I'm so glad we're going to see you on the show on Sunday, June 23rd at 7 p.m., and you're going to find out what a pearl necklace is all about.
Midnight Coleslaw's Tales from Beyond the Closet, written by Joey Merlo and directed by Nick Brown, features vampire drag diva Midnight Coleslaw and her cohort, Skeleton Head Boner, presenting musical comedy introductions to 3 separate Halloween-like scary tales. The first one features an engaged couple who find a weird skin-covered chair on the street, and the wife-to-be demands to bring it home. The furniture gets more and more animate and sort of takes over the lives of the two. Will they be able to escape from the spell of this demonic furniture? The second story, Daddy's Little Girl, involves Patricia and her wife, Very Butch Mel, at Patricia's family home, packing it up so they could sell it. When she was a girl, Patricia was extremely close to her dad and still has issues. She invokes him and he returns from the dead. Will Mel be able to pull her wife, Patricia, back from the spell of her dead father? The third story is the one I like the most. It features Dr. Renfield on the eve of his 69th birthday. He reminisces about all the wonderful parties with beautiful Greek godlike men that he had in the past, but now he's alone. An aging queen with no friends to fulfill his life. Will he be able to accept this new thing? This was David Greenspan giving a monologue, which he is always so wonderful at. Definitely my favorite part, but others might like the wilder, more campy other stories. I'm giving it a happy face minus.
At Second Stage's Hayes Theater, we have Paula Vogel's Mother Play, a play in 5 evictions, because the mother, played by Jessica Lange, either leaves before she has to pay for rent because they don't have the money, or she gets evicted. So it's basically them moving from place to place with her 2 children, Jim Parsons and Celia Keenan Bolger.
Yeah, just in time for Mother's Day, here comes this play. It basically takes place starting in 1964 and goes up to the present. Jessica Lange plays a recently divorced woman who apparently has total custody of her 2 kids. Jim Parsons plays an extremely hyper-intelligent kid. He's about 14. And Celia plays a younger, more prosaic daughter. And they obviously love their mother very much. They indulge her. They take care of her. They also see her for what she is. And it's not that she doesn't love them, but she's extremely narcissistic and self-absorbed. But life intrudes, I mean, the 64 turned into the late 60s, turned into the early 70s, turned into the early 80s, and everybody's lives changed. And in the end, all of these life changes came together to form this imperfect quilt of family love that wound up with big holes in it. But it's an extremely affecting play. I heard people in the audience crying and sniffling and gasping, and I had tears in my eyes myself at times, because it really speaks to the universal relationship that we have with our parents and they have with us. I give this one also a happy face plus.
I completely agree with everything Lisa said. And, the mom was an alcoholic. And, being a children of an alcoholic parent is difficult. And the moving and the dealing with cockroaches and stinky garbage and, and bullies but the kids, the brother and sister, really, they have a very tight bond. And it's basically sometimes them against the mother. I mean, they do try to love this mother, but she makes it very difficult for them to do so, but they try. And to see that and to see how they all take care of each other and how you say events happen that, it's just difficult. So it's very moving. It just, we've all had people that we can relate to with this. And I just give it such a major happy face and really, bring a box of Kleenex with you. You'll need a whole box. I went to the Lucille Lortel Awards at the NYU Skirball Center, and Frank Wood was nominated for his role as a dog in Toros. And I talked about his wife, who has the National Dance Institute 2024 Event of the Year. They're doing Earth Song, which is going on from June 15th to the 18th. And they're wonderful. You have to see these kids. It's incredible.
Hi, here we are with
Frank Wood.
And you got nominated for
The play is Toros and the role is Tika.
You were the dog.
Wait. Before there was The Best We Could. But this is by Danny Tahara, Toros. And
you were also the father.
I was also the father.
The father was icky.
I guess so. Yes, he was a capitalist investment preferred person. Yes, a multinational type. Yes, that's true.
But you were so cute as a dog.
Thank you.
It was not difficult because at the time you're sort of being real old and sleeping, and
it was tiring. So as being a dog, as being old and being close to the ground all the time. Yes, absolutely.
Did you go to the chiropractor a lot?
I didn't end up having to, but there are a few things I should go to a chiropractor for. Yes, but I haven't done it yet. We'll see.
Well, do you have any human roles coming up?
Nothing at the moment. No.
Shocking.
Well, thank you.
Well, in that case, give a plug for your wife's NDI. National Dance Institute.
I'm doing it with Kay Gaynor, who I wish was on the line with me. But National Dance Institute performs here at the end of the year event in June. And it is 200 children dancing so beautifully, it'll break your heart.
Oh, I know. It's so moving to see those kids and what they do.
Yeah, I agree.
And Jacques D'Amboise had a big part.
Jacques D'Amboise founded that place, and it ran it for decades, and then Ellen Weinstein ran it for 35 years, and now my wife is running it. Yeah.
So congratulations to the family.
Thank you.
And now I'll let you go.
At second stage is Alexis Shear's Breaking the Story, which has Marina, a war correspondent, with her cameraman Bear in a very dangerous situation. Suddenly, we're in Wellesley, Massachusetts, in front of a very fancy house where Marina and Bear decide to get married, and Marina's best friend Sonia helps to plan it. Marina's mom, Gummy, a free spirit, contributes to the festivities, as well as Marina's daughter, Cruz, who is a budding singer-composer, and her father, and Marina's ex-husband, Fed. Meanwhile, Marina's arch nemesis, Nikki, seems to be taking over her life and career. There is talk of Marina's private journals being bandied about to appear in a documentary. What are the incriminating stories she doesn't want broadcast? How much control do you have over your legacy? This was beautifully done and acted by the entire company. And at the end, they list war correspondents that were killed while reporting around the world. And to my shock, they had Stephen Vincent, my neighbor and Lisa Ramaci's husband, listed. And of course, this upset me, which is why I'm giving this, because it was so well done, a major happy face.
Here There Are Blueberries, written by Moises Kaufman and Amanda Grunich, conceived and directed by Moises Kaufman. It's an investigation of the past, which starts when an American World War II vet presents a photo album that he's kept for 60 years, which shows Nazis from Auschwitz enjoying leisure. It seems that there was a vacation chalet very near the camp, which most of these Nazis had vacations in. The title comes from a group of young women, German women, who were working in the office as telegraph operators, secretaries, and other tasks that seem to be unrelated to the extermination activities. The museum in Washington, which receives this photo album, is a bit unsure whether they should show it because their main task is really to document the Jewish victims. But, it's the reality of history is very important, and it's very exciting how the workers find out piece by piece of information to get a much more total story about these people from the past. It's a fascinating examination of what history really is and how it's created. And it feels a bit like a mystery being solved. I think it's a major happy face. It's a really smart theater piece.
And our next show, June 29th, I'm going to talk more about Here There Are Blueberries because it's such an important play. And we have contributed stuff to that very museum, my family. And another show we're going to discuss on June 29th is Dan Lauria's Just Another Day, which has him and Patty McCormick as an elderly couple with faulty memories that meet daily on a bench to try and figure out their relationship to each other and to themselves. I love this. It ends June 30th. And now for the theater listings. Closing June 16th is the Hungry Mind Buffet at Theater for the New City, Four Go Wild and Wellies at the New Victory. Closing June 23rd is Edward Einhorn's Dark Dreams at Bohemian National Hall, and Tomorrow We Love at the Chain Theater. And from June 18th to the 23rd, Out of the Box Theater Companies is doing George Kaufman's Butter and Eggman at the Bernie Wall Center. Closing June 28th is Theater 2020's The Tempest. And always check out 54 Below 92 NY and Joe's Pub and some special events. A one-night only performance of National Asian Artist Project, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, Tuesday, June 18th at 7:30 p.m. at the New World Stages. The Broadway League's Black Broadway celebrates Juneteenth, June 19th at 11 a.m. in Times Square. And Coffee House Chronicles is doing Jim Forat, June 22nd at 3 o'clock at La Mama, moderated by Penny Arcade.